Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 1000LB. Sisters Tammy Slaton confirms fan suspicions. A lot has been going on in this season of 1000LB Sisters. After only 4 months out of recovery from her weight loss surgery, Amy Slaton discovers she is pregnant. While medical professionals may argue that this is a setback, Amy couldn't be happier. Amy's doctor, Dr. Proctor in particular, recommends to her that she not get pregnant that 2 years after the surgery. But how is the other half of 1000LB Sisters Tammy Slaton faring? Unfortunately, it seems that COVID quarantine causes Tammy to lose all of her weight loss progress. She also seems to have a lot of drama going on in her romantic life. Tammy Slaton seems unlucky in love. Sadly, things don't seem to be going as well for Tammy Slaton. At one point, fans follow along with her long-distance relationship with Jerry Sykes. However, in an episode airing about 2 weeks ago, Tammy reveals that she and Jerry broke up. This may come as a sigh of relief for many since they didn't think that the two were good for each other. Mainly because Jerry is married. However, it seems that Tammy rationalizes their relationship because Jerry alleges his wife is ill and could not give him what he needed at home. Seemingly not wasting any time, Tammy starts showing off her girlfriend Kane. However, a reverse image search of Kane reveals that she is a famous model named Hannah Clyte. And it doesn't come as a surprise to the loyal fan base of the Slaton sisters that Tammy is interested in women. However, things may already be over between Tammy and Kane. Tammy recently shares a photo asking for a Valentine. Half of the 1000LB sisters make a shocking announcement in recent trailer. TMZ recently reports that Tammy Slaton came out as pansexual. This realization comes after producers release a trailer for an upcoming episode. While speaking to Jerry, Tammy says, "It means love is love. I would date anybody whether they're transgender, straight, gay." According to Tammy, she always thought she was bisexual. However, while speaking with a friend, she found out the definition of pansexual. In her own words, she shares what it means to her to be pansexual. "It means you love everybody, not just the same sex." And I was like, well, I guess I am too, because I wouldn't mind being with someone who's transgender or whatever. 1000LB sisters have a loyal fan base. And they aren't the only ones that have her back. Her ex-boyfriend takes the news of her sexuality very well. Tammy is happy to hear that Jerry still loves her. "I'm happy because he took it well," shares Tammy. However, that isn't the only reason why Tammy is happy. Acceptance of people's sexuality is important. Tammy Slaton has been the most unpredictable force on 1000LB sisters. Fierce, defensive, funny, and painfully vulnerable, Tammy has lived much of her life in front of cameras and under the microscope of millions of viewers who analyze every look, every sigh, every social media post. Fans have long suspected that behind Tammy's visible transformation was a deeper, quieter shift happening off-screen. Now Tammy herself is finally confirming what many viewers believed all along. The biggest change wasn't just physical, it was emotional, mental, and deeply personal. Tammy's journey has never been easy. Early seasons painted her as resistant to change, quick to lash out, and trapped in cycles of self-sabotage. While Amy pushed forward marriage, motherhood, independence, Tammy often appeared stuck, frustrated, and angry at a world that seemed to move on without her. Fans debated endlessly online. Was Tammy unwilling to change, or was she simply overwhelmed by trauma she didn't yet have the tools to confront? As it turns out, the fans were closer to the truth than anyone realized. In recent moments, both on the show and through her candid interactions with supporters, Tammy has confirmed that her earlier behavior wasn't about stubbornness or defiance. It was fear. Fear of failure. Fear of abandonment. And perhaps most of all, fear of believing she deserved a better life. For longtime viewers, this confirmation feels like a missing puzzle piece finally snapping into place. Tammy admitted that for years, she believed change would only lead to disappointment. Every attempt she made in the past felt temporary, followed by relapse and public judgment. The weight she carried wasn't only measured on a scale, it lived in her mind, reinforced by years of criticism, failed relationships, and a sense that she was always too much or not enough. Fans had suspected this internal struggle for a long time. They noticed the way Tammy bristled when praised, how she deflected hope with sarcasm, how success seemed to scare her as much as failure. And now Tammy has acknowledged it openly. She didn't trust happiness because it never stayed. What makes this confirmation so powerful is how different Tammy appears today. Her tone is calmer. Her words are more intentional. Where she once reacted defensively, she now reflects. She speaks about accountability not as punishment, but as freedom. And for fans who once felt frustrated watching her push everyone away, this honesty feels like a long-awaited breakthrough. Tammy has also confirmed another suspicion that circulated heavily among viewers, that she had to distance herself from certain relationships to truly heal. While she hasn't singled out individuals in harsh terms, she's made it clear that not everyone who was present during her lowest moments could walk with her into her healing era. Some connections were built around shared pain, not growth. Letting go of them wasn't cruel, it was necessary. This revelation resonated deeply with fans who saw Tammy repeatedly pulled back into unhealthy dynamics. Romantic partners who enabled destructive habits. Friendships rooted in mutual despair rather than support. Viewers suspected that Tammy couldn't fully change unless her environment changed too. Tammy now agrees. Perhaps the most surprising confirmation, however, involves Tammy's relationship with herself. Fans had long believed that Tammy didn't actually hate the process of weight loss. She hated the shame attached to it. Every setback was public. Every mistake was dissected online. Tammy has now acknowledged that learning to forgive herself was harder than following any diet plan or exercise routine. She shared that there were moments when progress felt terrifying because success meant no longer having excuses or hiding places. If she succeeded, she'd have to face the world without the armor she'd built around her pain. Fans had speculated this exact fear for years, and hearing Tammy say it out loud feels like validation not only for her, but for anyone who's ever feared outgrowing their own suffering. Tammy's confirmation also sheds new light on her evolving relationship with Amy. Once defined by resentment and competition, their bond now appears more balanced, if still complicated. Tammy admits she once felt left behind by Amy's milestones, interpreting them as proof she'd failed. Fans suspected jealousy, but what Tammy clarifies now is far more nuanced. It wasn't envy of Amy's success, it was grief over her own delayed life. That distinction matters. By naming that grief, Tammy has taken ownership of emotions she once expressed as anger. And fans are responding with an outpouring of empathy. Many now see her past outbursts not as cruelty, but as unprocessed sorrow. Still, Tammy doesn't pretend her transformation is complete. She confirms another long-held suspicion: the work never ends. Weight loss surgery didn't magically erase her struggles. Therapy didn't instantly rewrite her habits. Healing, she says, is ongoing and sometimes exhausting. But the difference now is that she no longer believes she's doomed to fail. That belief shift may be the most important confirmation of all. Fans who once doubted Tammy's commitment are now witnessing something far more powerful than rapid progress: consistency. Small steps, honest conversations, a willingness to sit with discomfort instead of lashing out. Tammy's confirmation that she's finally choosing herself, without apology, marks a turning point in her story. And perhaps in the story of 1,000 Sisters itself. Tammy Slaton's journey was never meant to be a straight line. It was messy, painful, and public. But by confirming what fans sensed all along, that her real battle was internal, Tammy has reframed her past not as a series of failures, but as survival. For viewers who've watched her struggle, fall, and rise again, this moment feels less like a revelation and more like recognition. Tammy didn't just lose weight.